Hello and welcome to today's lecture. I'm going to be reading a special message. This is not a new one. Those of you who have attended the Flying Seed teacher training course have heard this message and you all wanted to be able to hear it again. So I'm going to be reading this. It's going to be the history of the Flying Seed. For those of you who have not attended the teacher training course, you're going to enjoy this. It's an impressive message from Lantos talking about the flying seed and its impact in previous civilizations. It's important for us to keep in mind what Lantos said just in the last couple of messages, how the master tools for the new era include the pendant of eternal light, the chamber of eternal light, the flying seed, the song of the spheres, the medallion. All of these are the master tools for the new era. The Song of the Spheres, Lantos has referred to as the supreme tool, the personal tool of Thoth. And Thoth, as you know, is one of the early beings, one of the first four beings who witnessed the birth of creation. Now, the rest of our tools, that is not to say that they're not relevant. It is not to say that they're any less beneficial, any less important. It is to say that while the flame is absolutely great at taking care of physical traumas and other degenerative conditions such as arthritis. And if you suffer from arthritis, then the flame is absolutely something you want to use. From a grander scheme of being able to control the vast reaches of creation, the powers that generate planets, that generate stars, that affect everything in creation, that is something that the flame is not going to be relevant to doing, but rather the Song of the Spheres is, the flying seed is, the medallion is, the chamber of eternal lights is used with these tools, as is the pendant of eternal light. So the other tools of biogenesis are still fully effective. They will continue to be fully relevant even as the new eon takes hold, even as we move into this new eon of eternal light. Those tools of biogenesis that you've been using for 1 or 2 decades, those tools will continue to be used and in fact will be used with even greater strength, even greater effectiveness. So when Lantos talks about the master tools for the coming era, it is not in any way to diminish the importance of the tools that you've been using. It is to signify the strength of these master tools means something far beyond your physical body. It means being able to draw upon energies that are the controlling energies in all of creation. Let's take a look at the history of the flying seed, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Sunday's class, the course of the holy season. Here is what Lantos said about the history of the flying seed. Yes, it is a history of great knowledge, a history of the knowledge of creation. Dear ones, throughout history, the knowledge of creation has existed. It has existed just as creation itself has existed. In this existence, the great seers have seen. The great ones have perceived the workings and wonders of this vast creation. The secrets are open to those who perceive. Knowledge has existed just as creation has existed. Yet it is very few who have seen. Very few have experienced the fullness of knowledge, the fullness of life, graced by the understanding of totality. Very few are the great seers. We are the fortunate ones. We are blessed with the presence of the great teacher who embodies this fullness of knowledge. Our beloved master teacher, Thoth, offers supreme guidance on the highest path of life. As students, we receive the fullness of knowledge, that knowledge which illumines, that knowledge which enlightens. It is for this that we give our greatest thanks. We will discuss now some of the instances in history that were blessed by the grace of the presence of the brightest luminary, our beloved Master Teacher Thoth. Our beloved Thoth was among the beings in the early period of the existence of creation. These great beings are called the early beings. The early beings were responsible for the governance and development of the realms of existence. It was in this period that our beloved Thoth identified the system of 81 seeds, their locations and relationships, and the limitless value they offer to all seeking the knowledge of the vast forms and layers of creation. Knowledge. For those seeking knowledge, illumination, the great Master Teacher Thoth has shown the brightest light. Over the eons of creation, Thoth has offered the full light of knowledge. This great early being has assembled systems and structures for acquiring this fullness of life. This knowledge has been given to different quarters of the universe. At different times, the knowledge is offered to different realms. At different times, this precious knowledge has been given to our realm. There are remaining records of some of these instances, as the impact of this knowledge is great. The effect of life, the effect on life, and on society's development is great, and the records of these occurrences last and carry on as inspiration for the future periods of society. One such period of knowledge was that of Atlantis. It was a great time, a time of great purity. The waters of earth carried nutrients which supported the refinement of the physical structures, and the lands were pure and without residual disturbances. The elements were in balance, and this state of balance enabled the knowledge to be offered. Individuals residing in this balanced, pure environment thrived in the presence of this great knowledge. Developments, advancements, came to be common life. The process of initial rotations was experienced by the leaders of society, and the art of creating was practiced. From the structure of initial rotations, the form of the pyramid was introduced. The pyramid form supports the energy of initial rotations and the gaining of knowledge. The pyramid form is the form of the great teacher, the bestower of light. Initial rotations, the process of initial rotations, generates light, generates energy. Form emerges out of this process. The pyramid's form supports the process of initial rotations. In addition, the great central translator was assembled and activated. Life existed in an awakened state for a significant period of time. Thoth came in the form of the great bird and also assumed the form of full man. In both of these forms, Thoth blessed Atlantis with his highest knowledge. The great state of purity allowed the full dissemination of the knowledge of the 81 seeds of creation. Yet, this knowledge was offered based upon a condition of purity. Time did not support the continuance of this knowledge. Time. Time is a great force of creation, a force which governs. As the time shifts, the knowledge shifts. The knowledge was removed. It was a rapid collapse, a collapse which affected the layers of energy and physical form simultaneously. It was the collapse of the period of Atlantis. Later in the cycle of time, the period of Egypt emerged. In this time of Egypt, Thoth again offered knowledge of the seeds of creation. At this time, the support was not there for the full dissemination of the knowledge. And at this time, the knowledge of the relationship of the physical realm with the source was not revealed. The pods were removed. The realm signifiers were removed, leaving only the 27 spin keys. It was partial knowledge. Great advancements, great developments may be achieved even with only partial knowledge. Yet it is true, the saying that little knowledge is a dangerous thing. And many harsh practices and tendencies existed both in nature and in society during these times. The full value of blessings, the blessings of full knowledge, were not revealed to this Egypt culture. Master Teacher Thoth offered the knowledge of the form of initial rotations, the great process represented in the form of the pyramid, and offered the 27 spin keys, the keys which represent all form. The spin keys were presented in a form which offered insight into the existence of layers of creation, layers and divisions of the realms of existence. Thoth offered the relationship of the celestial spheres with human existence. Out of Egypt, the knowledge spread. Thoth delivered the knowledge of the spin keys in various forms to different parts of the world. The seeds were planted in India and China, and other regions at different times which followed. Thoth assumed different forms according to the nature of the people in the region. As teacher, Thoth has offered to blessed earth an immeasurable history of the dissemination of knowledge. Knowledge is provided at a specific time to bring forth light. In our training to be teachers of this great knowledge, it is important that we have a vision of the journey that this knowledge has taken over the millennia of history of civilizations. We are stepping into the millennia of eternal light, the eon of eternal light, a period of fullness of light, governed by the form of the great star of Genesis. It is a period of immense transformation. The transition between the eons may see much turmoil, and yet, as the light takes hold, the layers of energy will naturally transform the physical layers, releasing the toxins and residues of the past. We are most fortunate. We are in a most fortunate period in history. It is a period of highest light, fullest knowledge. The earth will respond. The lands and waters will respond. Life will shake loose the impurities and enjoy the radiance of harmony and the grace of fullness. So that was a brief history of Master Teacher Thoth, as well as of the flying seed. Okay, you can see some threads continuing through all of these messages that Lantos has given us that we've read over the past week, the past 2 weeks, where Lantos has spoken about such a great period of time that we are in, how fortunate we are to be in this period of time, the great knowledge that is being given to people, the great opportunities for knowledge that people are being given. He wants us to make sure that everyone has the knowledge to be able to use these tools of great light. So, our course of the Holy Season, we're going to be holding it on Sunday. It is going to talk about the leaves. Many of you have ordered and received now your Moon Wings and Leaves box set, the box set that contains the 81 leaves, each one pertaining to a specific seed of creation as represented on the flying seed, and then an extra 2 moon wings. This course is going to teach us how to use the leaves and additional ways of using the moon wings. Then we're also going to learn some about harmonics. I've already spoken to you some about harmonics and given you a basic introduction to the concept of the I am harmonics. The idea that your inception seed should have full harmonic value with your appellation seed, your name seed. And ideally, that your appellation seed also has full harmonic value with your mission seed, but this is something you can only find out if you go to one of the gates of knowledge, the Eastern Gate of Knowledge in Taiwan, the Western Gate of Knowledge in Los Angeles, or at the Seat of Eternal Light in Hawaii. For the rest of us who have not done that, you will simply make sure that your inception seed and your appellation seed exist with perfect harmony, with perfect harmonic value. We're going to learn how to make sure that everyone goes forward into next year with this support of a fully harmonic relationship between your inception and appellation seeds. The course should take us between 1 and 2 hours. I'm not sure entirely exactly how long it's going to be, but it should be probably in the ballpark of 90 minutes, somewhere right around 1.5 hours. It is going to begin at noon Pacific time on Sunday. So 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Those of you in other countries, you will usually go based off of the time in New York. That will be 3 p.m. in New York. For everyone else around the world, you can figure your time based on that. It is going to be posted on YouTube. We might be doing it live. We might simply post a recorded version at that time. Either way, at that time, at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the video will become available on our YouTube channel. It will also become available on our website. So you would simply go to the tab that talks about the course of the Holy Season, and we will have it right there. Probably about 10 to 15 minutes later, somewhere in that time frame, we'll send an email out with a link for the class. So that's going to be the plan for Sunday's class. Make sure that you have your leaves with you. Make sure you have your moon wings with you. If you happen to know your inception seed and your appellation seed, make sure you have those cards pulled out so that you can see the value between them. You can see the spin keys and the realm lords. Okay, everyone. If there's any information that I need to give you before Sunday's class, you'll get it in an email, and I'll have it posted on our website. Otherwise, just plan to see me on Sunday at the start time of the lecture. Everyone, thanks so much, as always, for everything that you do to help spread the light and anchor the light here on earth and throughout all of creation. Your actions have effect. So we thank you for that. I will see you on Sunday.